Everything just changed for the Toronto Blue Jays as following what was the win of the season yesterday against the Rangers. We have multiple huge Jays updates as folks, it is finally happening. Reinforcements are on the way. We're going to break down exactly what those are and discuss what this means going forward as things continue to get better for the Toronto Blue Jays team. We also have a bunch of injury updates surrounding some very notable players, including Anthony Santander and, of course, George Springer. Ton to go over today, folks. Stay tuned till the end of the video. But before you do it all, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Jays content. Your guys' support has truly been unbelievable. So thank you guys for that. You guys have been absolute beasts, folks. A lot to go over today. Shane Bieber, George Springer, all these different things. Yesterday's game was electric, and it's going to get better as soon as today, as reinforcements are absolutely imminent. And let's start with Shane Bieber before we dive into George Springer, because the George Springer one is very pressing news that could linger into today. And there's a lot to go over. But start with Shane Bieber. He goes out yesterday against AAA Buffalo, or with the AAA Buffalo Bisons. And with them, he finishes with 7 innings, 0 runs, 6 hits, 4 Ks, 90 pitches. And you can see from Keegan, he's ready. Surely his next start comes with the Jays. I'd bet on the Marlins series. And Ben Nicholson-Smith came out, I believe shot a VD as well. Shane Bieber's going to start the next start with the Toronto Blue Jays, and it is finally happening. They finally are getting reinforcements. His rehab starts could have not gone any better. When they acquired him at the trade deadline, he had made a couple already with, of course, the Guardians AAA team, and he looked really, really good. He comes over, he looks electric with the Jays, and guess what, ladies and gentlemen? He goes 7 innings, which is huge, and 90 pitches. The range he wanted, I believe, was 80 to 85. Ultimately, they got him up to 90, may have been 85 to 90. Regardless, correct me if I'm wrong down below, but it was one of the, two. Not that it really matters at all. Huge start for this team. He is fully ready. And guess what? With the struggling Chris Bassett, they could use an extra starter. Now, it's obviously yet to be seen if they go with a 6-man rotation. There's been some rumblings about Chris Bassett to the bullpen. I'm going to keep those down for now because I don't think that'll happen yet. But you can see here, even from Ben Nicholson-Smith himself, fastball average 92.6, topped out at 94.3. Good chance his next start comes at the MLB level with the Jays, which is absolutely huge. And folks, I am over the moon here. Absolutely over the moon. And we'll dive into George Springer in a minute. But what we do know is that Mr. Bieber himself is going to be pitching. Now, something else to note here from Arden Zwelling. You can see here, if all goes well for Shane Bieber in his rehab outing tonight with the Bisons, his next start will be with the Jays. Club isn't announcing his next start date yet, but wants to keep him relatively on turn. Possibilities are Wednesday in Pittsburgh or Friday in Miami. So he's either going to pitch this Wednesday, most likely, or what Keegan thinks is this Friday. That's a pretty big report here. It's happening, though, ladies and gentlemen. No more waiting. He won't have another start with the, in the minor leagues, and he doesn't need it. He goes 7 innings scoreless against some very good hitters down there. I believe Alek Manoah was hitting. You had, George Springer yesterday going crazy. We'll dive into in a second. Fantastic news overall. I am over the moon, and we finally get to see the prized acquisition realistically at the trade deadline. And folks, we are getting reinforcements at the right time. This team is rolling. We are, a month and a half away till season's end, a playoff race, a pennant race. Vibes are so high after yesterday's game. I am over the moon. I've never felt this excited to watch the Jays day in, day out as I do right now. And ladies and gentlemen, speaking of reinforcements, let's dive into George Springer. Thomas Hall came back saying he's back reporting today for George Springer. He will be DHing tonight with AAA Buffalo, which he did yesterday. Plan is to have him and Shane Bieber back up tomorrow, which is today. And Santander has begun a hitting progression. We'll dive into Santander in a little bit and probably have a full video covering him. It was a great day of updates yesterday into this morning. It was really, really good. And ladies and gentlemen, guess what Mr. Springer did in his first game back with the Toronto, or not his first game back, but his last game rather of his rehab stint. He hits a Oppo Taco, 352 feet, 99.2 mile per hour off the bat, home run to finish the game. And he finished it healthy. He finished it 100% ready to go. And ladies and gentlemen, George Springer is going to be back as well. Now, obviously, this is 2 games in a row. He laced a double in the day before yesterday's game. Of course, yesterday hits a home run. Thomas Hall reporting that he is going to be back today. And Shane Bieber, we might see a flurry of moves today, depending on what happens, before the game. If they want to get George Springer up before the game, that's obviously still technically yet to be seen. I'll have a video most likely after the game covering all of the moves and the game. So stay tuned, for later today on that video. But regardless of that, he's going to be called up. George Springer for sure. And they could technically wait a little bit with Bieber. But, the big thing here is, and the tough question I've been talking about now for weeks, who gets sent down? And that's what I'm going to be talking about here. I think at this point, it is all but confirmed going to be Joey Loperfido. Now, there was obviously some rumblings for a while about Joey Loperfido getting sent down. Yesterday, against a righty, John Schneider pinch hits Ty France for Joey Loperfido. Now, Lopes got the start in yesterday's game. I am, you can see people on Twitter starting to talk about it now. I think Joey Loperfido will get down sent tomorrow morning. It sucks, but you literally can't send anyone else right now for Springer other than him. I mean, some people are talking about, of course, guys like Miles Straw. He makes too much money and you have to DFA him. I don't think the Jays right now want to mess with the chemistry of the team. Miles Straw, we saw him mic'd up in the Apple TV game yesterday. He's not going to get sent down. Ty France, his OPS is almost 700 and he's been on fire since returning, albeit a pretty bad game yesterday. I don't see a world where they're going to send DFA Ty France because they can't send down either Ty France or Miles Straw without DFAing them because they're out of options. Ty France, I think, is staying. Then it's between Davis Schneider and Joey Loperfido. Schneider hits a rocket double, and he also, I believe he hit a single and a double yesterday. There's no world he's getting sent down, and he's been mashing righties. All signs point to Joey Loperfido, which is a very unfortunate situation here, but with Springer getting called up today, bearing any unforeseen events, there's been a lot of reports about Loperfido. It seems like he's going to be the one who is sent down and, of course, recalled September 1st. It's only a couple weeks. Joe Loperfido understands the business. He understands the way things are, and I think ultimately here it makes the most sense for the team. It makes the most sense for maybe even Joey Loperfido to a degree because the amount of at-bats would also be diminished a little bit. Like, he's done his job at the major league level. He's done really, really well this year for the Toronto Blue Jays, but at the same time, you have to look at it's either wait 2 weeks and bring him back up or get rid of other players because they're not going to send down Davis Schneider at this point. He is too good. And at the end of the day, it sucks, but I think Joe Loperfido is going to be the one who gets sent down, which is unfortunate. But I mean, if you're a Jays fan, we're all Jays fans, obviously, or most of you, I assume, who are watching. Getting Springer back is massive. His swing looks good. He looks 100%, back to where he was, at least based on AAA pitching. It'll obviously probably take him a few games. If he plays today, that's honestly a pretty good time to play because tomorrow the Jays play Nathan Eovaldi. He luckily missed the Jacob deGrom start. You're going up against Patrick Corbin today with a 4 ERA, a lefty. So that's another thing also to keep in mind here why I think Joey Loperfido is going to be sent down today, which is the day he's going to get, we assume, activated, bearing any unforeseen changes and unforeseen circumstances. You're going up against a lefty, so you'd want to have Davis Schneider in the lineup for sure anyway today, so you wouldn't want to send him down even on today's game. Joey Loperfido probably won't get in the game today. Send him down. Bring George Springer up, who will also, I assume, be in the lineup against the lefty. And it's also the easiest matchup of the next couple because then you go up against Nathan Eovaldi. And then, of course, on Monday, you go up against Paul Skeens. So a lot of different things, folks, and I am over the moon. I cannot, describe, put into words, articulate how excited I am for each and every Jays game. And obviously to, be doing these videos is a blessing, obviously, but your guys' support has been so unbelievable. I feel the energy. Live streams are going to be coming soon as well. Just doing a little bit of traveling this weekend. So right after that, we'll be getting into the live streams. And a couple other notes here. Just want to give a quick shout out prior to yesterday's game. Vladdy, since MLB, or since the July 20th, ranks first in almost every meaningful hitting stat. One of the best, Jays, on the team. And one other thing here, before we wrap up, I will have a full video probably covering this at some point. Santander has now officially started his hitting progression, which means that he's finally started the early stages of swinging a bat, hitting off a tee, etc. The Jays are keeping the door open to him returning in the next couple of weeks to tell us if that's possible. So we'll have a full video, or I will rather, covering that. Let me know down below, do you want to see Anthony Santander play for this team? If he becomes healthy, they might try it because of his power potential. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, a couple other updates here as well. Jimmy Garcia, he's still undergoing issues. Nick Sandlin is playing catch. He should be back fairly soon. Who he replaces? Probably Tommy Nance. And then Francis and Manoah continue to rehab. And I don't think Francis is going to factor in. You have way too many starting pitchers, and he started throwing in Florida. So, ladies and gentlemen, Bieber is back. George Springer is back. Joey Loperfido is probably gone. We'll obviously keep you up to date every step of the way, but what an unreal time to be a Jays fan and enjoy every moment of it. We deserve it after last year and really the wild card disappointments the last few years. And it's the place to be for daily Jays content, the latest news. Make sure to subscribe button. Enjoy the game today. I'll see you guys for a video later tonight, assuming there's news. Cheers.